So I'm going to take my cue from Anish era and focus on an animate object um, while doing this video. Um, Keith Woods, in one of his recent videos, talks about and well describes the left's long march into the institutions all over the Western world. Institutions being the media and the academies and well, to which would include the universities, etc. And of course, here in Ireland, the biggest manifestation of that would be the complete takeover of the media, the mainstream media, the Dennis O'Brien owned media, and the state broadcasting apparatus. But I mean, all these things together constitute the public square, and the public square has been very much taken. It's difficult for a nationalist to have a voice in the public square without being censored or shut down or just not deplatformed or not even given the airspace in the first time or set up. But there's an aspect of the public square which is perhaps takeable, and that aspect is the new public square, i.e., the online world, social media. Now, a lot of the social media forums, which are the new public square, I mean, these are the places the online forums and message boards, these are where people go to express themselves and to do business and to advertise and to look for friends and to search for social events, etc. Um, a lot of them have been taken. So I know a lot about Facebook groups because I've used Facebook groups for my business in the past, and I've been working a lot in them. Um, some Facebook groups are taken, and by the way, you wouldn't believe how many people there are in Facebook groups in Ireland. If you think Facebook is the most common social media in Ireland, especially among the voting population, the boomers, and everybody from like old people in their 60s and 70s would these days, many of them have Facebook accounts all the way through your boomers down through your Generation X's and into your even some millennials. You know, a lot of millennials will still have Facebook these days. So it is the key. It's if you're going to target one social media to reach people, and this is what we need to be doing. Us nationalists, we need to be reaching out to the Joe Public, Joe O Public, or Joe McPublic, Joseph McPublic, and showing Joe McPublic that it's okay to have. It's okay to think that Ireland should be for the Irish. It's okay, you know, you're not a racist because you think you're concerned about the Irish becoming a minority, an ethnic minority in their own country. So how do we take these spaces, these public squares back? They're out there, they're massive, and they are takeable. Well, the first thing is to accept that many of them have been taken. So you go into a Facebook group, like for example, Conor News. Conor News has got 10,000 people in it, and a survey was dropped in there recently. Um, what was it? Trying to remember the wording because it was deleted. It was deleted within 15 minutes because the admins of that group didn't want to. You know, it was incendiary information because it was just asking a question that almost every Irish person could agree to, and they obviously didn't want people having that awareness that this was common agreement and commonly and very popular view, and the wording was. I'm I do not want to see the Irish become a minority in our own island. Oh, sorry, in our own country. Does this make me a racist? Yes or no? So that was dropped in, and within 15 minutes, it had 20 people saying no, and nobody had said yes. There was one person who had objected to the very nature of the survey, of the question in the first place, and that person managed to get the admins of the group uh, to delete that post. So that is pure and utter censorship of the bluntest nature, when even a simple question like that can be removed. So what do we need to do? If there is a situation like that, we need to create our own general interest message boards and groups that we can control. Because this person, this administrator of the group, whether they were somebody with totalitarian leanings who didn't want that information, the Irish people, to see the results of that survey, or whether they were just like a spineless person with no backbone who would easily cave in to the demands of the totalitarian who was demanding that this be taken down. Either way, that person is that the fact that that person has control over that public space, over that public square, is no good for us. So how can we do this? We can create, throughout every county in Ireland and throughout every locality, we can create our own general interest message boards. So basically just mirror what's already there. So if we see that, for example, a message board for an area, like for example Conor News, if you see that Conor News has been compromised, that there's no free speech possible within that group, then what do we need to do? We need to create our own version of Conor News that will look exactly like Conor News. It will have the same content in it as Conor News. So whatever Conor News puts up about social events, just whatever their content is, that we create a group that has exactly the same content, and we go after the same demographics and the same ownership. The only difference is that when the time comes to say something important, that we can say it in that group because we have the control. So that's what my invitation is to patriots, Irish nationalists, to get out there and take back the public square. What, in concrete terms, we can, for what I know about, the world I know about is Facebook. It's entirely possible to do this in Facebook. So we just take public squares that have been compromised and mirror them, copy them, and build our own. It's going to take a wee bit of work. It's going to take a wee bit of time. You might have to learn some new skills. But hey, it sure beats standing in the GPO with a rifle in your hand while a British gunboat fires shells in over your head. So, I mean, things are harder in some respects, but they're easier, much easier in lots of other respects compared to what the men of 1916 had to face up to. So yeah, that's my invitation. Get out there, create for example, a Conor News, open brackets, uncensored, close brackets. I've got more to say about how to combat the techniques of how to combat taking back the public space in groups that are already, to some degree or other, controlled. But what we can do that's a bit more. It's a bit more technical. But what we should do, this is something anybody can do. Anybody can set up a Facebook group. Just Google it. Google how to do it, and then people will come forward and help you. You won't be on your own. It'll be easy. Yeah, I'll sign off for now, and thanks for listening. Bye.